What's up, guys? I'm back, and today I'm on a 2023 GasGas SM 700. Now this bike is basically a dirt bike that's street legal, and it shares a lot of the stuff. In fact, it shares everything from the KTM 690. That includes a 692 single cylinder engine, as well as everything else on the bike. The only difference is really the color and the wheels. Now the single cylinder engine comes with 74 horsepower and 54 foot-pounds of torque. For a single cylinder engine, that's a pretty big slug to produce that. And you can feel it. It's a lot of torque on this bike, and it's considered a Hoonigan special. Hoonigan meaning do some wheelies, do drifting. It's a supermoto bike. And it even has these awesome modes on it right here. It has street and supermoto. For mode 1 is street, mode 2 is supermoto. Mode 1 is more crisp, it's made for street, made for handling, things of that nature. Mode 2 kind of lets you drift a little bit, wheelie a little bit more, and you also have the ABS switch here to turn that off and disable completely if you really want to go crazy. Now this bike is light, and we're talking 349 pounds wet. Wet means with all the fluids. And like I said, we've got torque. So it just takes off on you. This bike is equipped with an aero muffler on it, so it is a little bit louder than its stock counterpart. Other than that, this bike is really the most basic thing ever. I mean, we've got the screen here, which is extremely basic. All I see is miles per hour. I don't see the gear, RPM, or anything on here. It's real basic. You gotta count your gears, kind of like the old school stuff. But it does have a bi-directional quick shifter that also has an auto blipper. The bike's extremely easy to maneuver at low speeds, and I mean extremely easy. The center of gravity of this thing is really low. You can U-turn almost in one lane. It's very flickable. Now this bike does have Brembo anchors front and rear, but it only does have a single brake rotor in front. Usually on bikes I ride, this has two, one for each side. But because of the weight of this bike at 350 pounds, which is about 100 pounds lighter than liter class super bikes I usually test, it really doesn't need all that much braking power, and you can do stoppies pretty easily with this bike as it sits, even with that single brake rotor. So today, just to fill you guys in, I'll be testing this bike pre-flash and post-flash, and we'll see what exactly our tuning can do for this bike, if we can make any power with it, if we can make a significant change that I can notice riding the bike pre-flash and post-flash. This is why we do this testing. I'll try and ride it before, get a good feel for it, see if there's any quirks, things I don't like, anything we can improve upon on the bike, and then we try and fix that with the tuning, and I take it out and verify that on the street after. That's what kind of sets us apart from all the other tuners. We verify everything, not just on a dyno or on a computer, but we also do it with street riding, because that's the most important part, where the rubber meets the road, not just where the laptop meets the keyboard. As far as low speed rideability goes, the bike is really good. I mean, like I said, wheelie, yep, it'll wheelie like no problem. All you gotta do is twist the throttle. I kind of did a false neutral right there. But yeah, all you gotta do is twist the throttle. This thing wheelies right up in the sky. The low speed rideability of the bike is very good. No issues whatsoever. The quick shifter is a little bit clunky. I'm not expecting this thing to shift the most smooth on the planet. Downshifting is also a little bit clunky as well. Again, to be expected. The suspension travel is really very good on this bike. I mean, I can sit on this thing and compress it about 3 or 4 inches. And that has 8.5 inches of travel from the WP Apex forks in the front, and about 9.5 inches of travel in the rear. This is all fully adjustable as well on the fly. You literally have a switch right here for rebound. I don't like riding this thing on the freeway at all. On the freeway, this thing, there's no blockage for the wind whatsoever against you. You are fighting the wind the entire time you're riding. It's just not a fun scenario. So if this is light to light, street riding, fun bike. So now that we've got our basic impressions from the bike, let's go ahead and check out what this thing does for the 20 through 100, and we'll start out in second gear, and that's to kind of give you guys a feel, or at least to see exactly what the mid-range low end looks like as we make our way to 100 miles per hour. Okay, I'm here with the SM 700 getting the stock 20 through 100. All right, here we go, second gear start. Alright, so that was a 9-second 20 through 100. So I think we can improve upon that after we hit to the dyno, see what kind of numbers we get, and see if we can improve upon this bike from its stock configuration.
What's up guys, I'm here over at Lee's Cycle in San Diego, our dealer for BT Moto, and I'm here with the 2023 GasGas SM 700. So first we're going to start with some stock runs, and then we're going to move our way over to some tuned runs, and then I'll kind of go over everything with you guys. So let's start with stock. All right, we were wrapped up with stock tuning. You can see here we got a total of 68 horsepower. Now, I can't see torque here. We had to run this by mile per hour because the torque was getting all funky on this thing. This is our curve that we're working with right now. Stock is actually pretty decent. You can see it's a nice long line right there, plateauing up top there where it flattens out in the power curve. And I'm assuming that's for airbox restrictions alone. So a real simple test right there. Let's go ahead and do tuning, and then we'll do a few comparisons. All right, we're wrapped here with the tuned runs now, and you can see we gained a total of 5 wheel horsepower from 68 in that stock baseline run to the 73 with the tuned run. And we're making pretty good gains across the entire RPM band here. You can see there's no spot where the stock tuning is making more power than the tuned runs. Even up top here, we're getting 5 wheel horsepower. If I go for, let's say right here, we're making a total of 6 wheel horsepower where there's a little bit of dip right there. But pretty good gains all around. Even right here, sort of in the mid-range, we're making a total of, was it 57 to, that's 4 wheel horsepower right there. And you can see we bumped that red line 500 RPMs. Now, if we go 6 gear wide open, we're looking a little over like 135 miles per hour total for this bike with that RPM bump of 500. And that's a lot more than stock, about 123 miles per hour we're getting top speed. So good gains all around in power and throttle response, which I'll be going over in the post-ride review. Because power is important and all, but rideability is just as important as power. Rideability is paramount as far as we're concerned, and we even make marks on these bikes. I mean, even here, this is just kind of a real kind of basic marking here, but it's 0% throttle, 100% throttle, 50% throttle, and I go through different 25, 50, 75, 100. I'll go through all these throttle marks just to see exactly how the AFR looks, how the bike responds, how it feels, just how everything looks in the dyno, and then we're gonna go test that on the road. So to accomplish what we're seeing here, what we're doing here is fueling, ignition, throttle response. There's a lot of things we're messing with to get those numbers up. That even includes D-cell fueling. So when I let go of the throttle, for example, it's not gonna feel like I'm slamming on the brakes. It's gonna be a nice, gentle engine braking coming down. We go over every single aspect of the motorcycle, and that's what makes our tuning superior to our competitors. So that we've wrapped up the tuning, let's get this thing on the road. I want to see exactly how this thing differs from stock and how it feels overall, and I'll give you guys my impressions.
What's up guys, I'm back post-flash for the ride review. And the bike definitely seems a little more lively than it was before. The changes I'm feeling here aren't as dramatic as, let's say, our other offerings like the S1000RR, the Ducati V4. This is more nuanced. Meaning low input throttle stuff has been changed slightly, and if you ride the bike on a constant basis, you would know exactly what I mean. It's just 25% throttle feels a lot more smooth and more crisp with a little more power behind it. Now, of course, the bike is still a wheelie machine. And the extended redline helps give us a wider power band for more of that hoonigan stuff, and also means less shifting at the track. We did get a few more horsepower and a little more torque out of this bike with the extended redline, so we should see an increase in, or a decrease, should I say, in the 20 through 100 times. It would be an increase in performance. For the lower input throttle stuff, definitely helps when we do that in the dyno for that 25%, 50%, and 75% throttle positioning. And it helps us exact the fuel correctly, especially with modifications on the bike. Like this has that aero muffler, a DNA filter, and it helps us kind of exact everything for your modifications. This bike feels smoother, ridden at a higher RPM now. The quick shifter is still clunky. Nothing really can be done there, so no changes over stock for that. We are, however, getting some good changes in power. It feels good. And like I said, it's not a dramatic change in power, but it is a noticeable change in power. Now, if you've thrown a pipe on this bike or something like that, and it feels like it's not exactly right anymore, this would definitely remedy that 100%. So let's go ahead and see what this bike did 20 through 100 post flash. All right, I'm here with the SM700 getting the post flash 20 through 100. You can see post flash we got 8.75 versus that 9 seconds, so we shaved 0.3 of a second off the total time for the bike, which is great. Definitely an improvement. I didn't see an improvement in top speed because this bike hits a wall right around 122 miles per hour. Like, I cannot move the needle beyond that, basically, and that's me tucked and everything. I'll also notate here that downshifting and coming to a stop, there is some more burble coming out of the exhaust now. Kind of just sounds a little more fun. So overall, we got throttle improvements, we got power improvements. Overall, the bike just feels a little bit better. It's not, like I said, I'm going to keep on saying this, it's not a dramatic change. Don't get this flash expecting a dramatic night and day difference. It isn't that. It's just something that gives you a little bit extra. It's a little bit better, and if you need to exact your fueling because of modifications, it's perfect for that as well. So I think it's going to do it for a review here on the GasGas SM700. I'm going to get this thing back home, and I'll see you guys in the next one.